Hi there, I'm Donna Wolfe from Naztazia.com.
Today I'll show you how to attach pom-poms to crochet and knitted hats 3 different types of ways, including pom-poms with snaps on them, pom-poms with elastic on them, and pom-poms with no connectors. As mentioned, you can use either knitted or crocheted hats with these techniques. Some pom-poms that you get in the craft store have a snap already sewn on them. In cases like this, they will also include the other side of the snap as well, so you can sew it onto your hat. What's important is trying the other end of the snap on the pom-pom first, so you sew the snap onto the hat correctly. I'm using stronger sewing thread and a regular sewing needle. I double my thread in the sewing needle, and in this case, I'm not placing a knot at the end. Instead, I'm going to leave a few inches of thread and use it to tie and knot both ends later. I'm turning my hat inside out and inserting my sewing needle from the inside of the hat outwards. As mentioned, I'm also leaving a few inches of sewing thread hanging down so that I can use it to tie and knot things after attaching the snap. And then I use basic sewing skills and insert my sewing needle into one hole of the snap, then try and catch a few yarn strands of the hat, then back up through another hole of the snap. If you feel more comfortable, you can go right through to the center of the hat to the other side. I find that with regular use, that's not necessary. However, if you really need to ensure that this snap doesn't come undone, then additional sewing stitches might be more suitable. Also, I do have a beginner video on hand sewing basics like threading the needle and common stitches if you need help with that. On my last stitch, I push my sewing needle down to the inside of the hat, and then I trim the end I have been working on. I take that starting end and this trimmed end and tie and knot the 2 ends. I do this several times to ensure my work doesn't come out. Then I take a pair of scissors and trim the ends, but not too close to the knot. Feel free to weave in the ends beforehand if you wish as well. Next, I try on my pom-pom. The nice thing is I can remove this pom-pom before washing the hat if I choose, or I can attach different color pom-poms as well. The next method of attaching a pom-pom to a hat requires that your pom-pom have an elastic loop on it, which many of them have these days. Those loops aren't just for hanging on the display hook, even though that's how stores use them. You are going to work inside of the hat for this next step. How we attach the pom-pom is by using the elastic loop and connecting it to a button inside of the hat. So we'll begin the process of sewing a button onto the inside of the hat. And since it's at the top of the hat, most likely in the gathered section, you won't feel the button whatsoever when you put the hat on to wear it. If you notice as before, I'm taking small stitches from the inside of the hat and then going through the buttonholes. I don't feel a need to go through to the top of the hat to the other side to keep this button in place. However, as mentioned with the snaps, if you really need to ensure this button doesn't come loose, use whatever extra sewing methods you need to accomplish that. Once I have sewn the button onto the inside of the hat, I wrap the yarn around the button and tie and knot my 2 ends together to help hold everything securely in place. Then I trim my ends and feel free to leave them as is or weave them in if you wish. For this next step, I take my crochet hook and insert it from the inside of the hat towards the outside top of the hat. Then I pull the elastic loop from the pom-pom through to the inside of the hat. This next step, I just use my fingers and wrap the loop around the button. And that's the elastic loop method. This final method is if you want the pom-pom to be permanently attached to the hat and never come off. With this method, we'll be sewing the pom-pom directly to the hat. I am using a long sewing needle, which is usually used for sewing dolls. You can also use longer ones that are intended for sewing upholstery. I am using a knot at the end of my thread, but you can also leave a few inches of thread and tie and knot the 2 ends together once completed. As you can see, I need the longer sewing needle because I am pushing my sewing needle completely through the pom-pom. These pom-poms have a soft inner core filled with polyester fiber fill, so it's a good idea to go through the entire pom-pom to securely sew the pom-pom to the hat. As always, tie and knot your ends. And that's how I connect pom-poms to knit and crochet hats.